All right, guys. So Thursday night training, what we're going to focus on, it looks like a little bit of appointment setting, a little bit of recruiting, activity, some licensing, insurance coverages, and importance of having a why and a purpose. That's sort of like one of those fuzzy, sort of like subjective things. We can talk about that here in a second. Actually, let's lead with that, right? The importance of having a why is pretty critical because the business is hard sometimes, right? Mentally challenging can be. And if you don't have that thing to look to, if you don't like sort of like remember the reason that you came into the business, it's going to get real easy when things get just a little bit difficult to just sort of like backslide, right? Especially like think about like how many of you have tried like dieting before or weight loss or like a new exercise program or something, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Yeah, I can eat this ice cream. Uh, that candy bar looks really good, right?" And you backslide because in that moment you forgot why you started. And if you don't keep that like in the forefront of your mind and you don't keep that like near-term goal very like readily visible, it's going to be very easy to backslide and sort of like let the why that you started the business. For most people, it's like making extra money, like spending more time with your kids because you need to switch jobs. For most people like that come in and then quit the business, they let the reason why they started the business become the reason that they quit. They use it as their excuse. The reason that they were coming here in the first place becomes the reason that they leave, and it's kind of sad. So people use different versions of like a vision board, a sticky note, or anything, right? Put it up in your study area or your office, wherever you're putting, like wherever you're setting up. If you have a whiteboard, great. If you just need to write on a piece of paper and slap it on the wall, do it, right? Like think about it right now in the chat. Like, why did you guys start the business? Why did you come here? Like, why did you start in the first place? Right? I'm waiting. I'll wait. It's okay. Not everybody all at once. Right? Yeah, why'd you start? Family, flexibility, extra money. Those are usually like the top three. Retire your husband. I love that. That's good. Right. I'm still waiting for Melissa to retire me. Someday. Right. But yeah, like remember that and use that. Right. Yeah. You don't, oh, Haley, that's a great one. Right. You don't want people going through what your family went through when they didn't understand the value and the need for what we have. Right. And that's your crusade. Not everybody has that right away. But think about this. Whatever your reason why was that you wrote down just now, how many of you guys know someone or even know a family that experienced a pretty tragic loss, right? A loss of life, somebody died, and the family had no life insurance and they were stuck with some form of GoFundMe or bake sale or hoping that people donated money. How many of you know somebody like that? Or even if you didn't know them, you just saw it on social media, saw it on Facebook, saw a random GoFundMe, right? It should be everybody in the chat right now because everybody has seen that. Everybody has seen that. And the craziest part is most of us have seen it within 1 or 2 degrees of separation from our family within the last year. And if you've been in the business in the last year and you've experienced that loss, you need to ask yourself, did I reach out to that person? Did I even try to set the appointment? Did I even give them the opportunity to blow me off? Because if you didn't, that's on you. You should have asked, right? If you asked and they ghosted you, that's on them. But man, because I've been there, right? I was supposed to sit down with a friend of mine's dad. I called him 2, 3, 4, 12 times. One time we got on the phone and then he blew me off. 3 months later, game over. You can only do so much, right? But even then, I felt terrible because I stopped following up. I got sick of being ghosted. Even though he was on my list, I quit calling him. Right. So until you get a flat no from somebody, leave them on your list. That's why we make lists, right? That's your 1,000 name list. It's our job to follow up because usually the business happens somewhere between the 8th and 12th follow-up. It's crazy, right? It's crazy, but that's just people. It's okay, and that's just people. All right, so that's your why. Keep that in the front of your mind, right? It's got to happen. You got to have your reason why. I mean, it's just like fitness, weight loss, quitting something, quitting smoking, right? People don't just like quit smoking because they feel like it. There's usually a reason. That's your why, right? So like have that available. Now, the thing a lot of like I'm gonna switch gears, right? So touchy-feely side gone. We're gonna get into some more like tangible stuff, right? So the business happens between Dwayne, usually somewhere around the 8th to 12th follow-up. Angela, if you've got the statistics graphic, the red line statistics,
Yeah, I'll redrop it.
can you throw that out there? Don't put it in here, just put it in Telegram. That way people can find it easier. Um, but for real, guys, like 8 to 12. For people that don't close in like the first or second, it normally takes 8 to 12. And most people go, oh, 8 to 12. I don't want to be like the pushy salesman. I don't want to be that person, right? Well, you don't have to be. And here's how you end up not being that person. When you're on the appointment with somebody, because you would have never gotten to the point where you need to follow up if you didn't at least have initial contact, right? Your job is to ask for permission. And here's how that goes. Hey, Bernardo, man, listen, I know we're not ready to go right now. That's totally okay. I completely understand that. When do you think you would be ready to make a decision? Today, tomorrow? How long does it normally take you to make a decision when you've got to kind of think about it? Like a day, a couple of days, couple of weeks? They don't want to say a couple of weeks because that sounds ridiculous, right? They're going to tell you a couple of days, but you have to put the ball in their court and they have to say it. And so once they say it, you say, Bernardo, that's great, man. Listen, if I haven't heard from you, today's Thursday, like if I haven't heard from you by Saturday, is it okay if I text you or give you a call on like Sunday just to kind of check in? What are they going to say? They're going to say yes, right? And so now it's on you to go put it in your calendar, follow up with Bernardo on Sunday. And then when Sunday rolls around and you wake up and you're looking at your calendar, you go, oh, I got to call Bernardo. Now, when I call Bernardo on Sunday after church, right, let the family stuff settle. When I call him on Sunday, he's going to look at his phone and he's going to go, I told Noah he could call because now you had permission. Now you're not just bugging somebody on Sunday. I'm following up because I'm doing what you asked me to do, right? That's how you end up not being the pushy person because you just asked for permission. They gave it to you. You followed up. You did your job. Guys, I can't tell you how many times I've actually done that with people and they ultimately thank me because they go, oh my God, I've been meaning to do this forever and I just keep blowing it off. Thank you so much for following up. Because I asked for permission. I wasn't texting them, blowing them up, or calling them on repeat until they answered. That's how you get blocked, right? Don't do that, right? So that's that's kind of the like the way to get through that. But like, let's talk about like the actual art of appointment setting. Okay. Angela, do me a favor, drop the appointment setting audio for everybody in Telegram. Guys, as you're seeing these things pop up in Telegram, like this is like that's the repository, right? That's where everything lives. If you are ever wondering where something is, just go look in there. It's there, I promise. Appointment setting is the one skill that if you master, everything else follows. Because if you can master appointment setting, one, you can generate activity, which means you stay in business. If you can master appointment setting, you also get very, very comfortable overcoming objections, especially the very, very simple ones, right? And so the art of appointment setting is mastering a script, asking for help, and yes, yes. Okay, so let me walk you through what this actually looks like. And I'm going to use our orientation packet that has the kitchen table script in it. And I want especially all the brand new people to pay attention to this, right? And so here's the script. The kitchen table script, if you look at the screen and you read it really quick, does the script anywhere in there say, I would like you to sit down and help me look at life insurance, or I would like you to sit down and look at life insurance? It's a trick question because the answer is no, right? Nowhere in that script does it say that. The thing that it does say in the script is, I just need to get some training, right? It's in there. This one, maybe not so much. Let me go, I'll find a different picture because there's actually a very, very simple picture version of this that just says, I got to sit down and get some training in the next day or two. It'll take like 20 or 30 minutes. When's better, today or tomorrow? And that's the simple version, like legitimately, right? Haley just posted it in the chat. Haley, will you post that in the Telegram? Because you can't copy from the Zoom chat. It's a pain. But here's the basics, guys, right? There's a little bit of small talk. In the beginning, if you're calling your list, they're your people. We're talking about setting an appointment with like your kids, your brother, your sister, your best friend, your spouse, your parents. You don't need a reason to call any single one of those people. But if you can't call those people and get through this and even just like bumble your way through this script, you're never going to do it with anybody else. So what I'd like you guys to do tonight is listen to the appointment setting audio. If you haven't mastered it, that needs to be your goal between today and tomorrow, right? Tonight and some of the day tomorrow, you need to master that appointment setting audio. I will tell you that for me, in the beginning of the business, for probably the first 90 days in my car, all I listened to was Ian Pruckner appointment setting and Ian Pruckner recruiting. That was it because I needed nothing but that in my brain when it came to like learning the business. All right. So, hey, Haley, how you doing, girl? You good? Awesome. Listen, the reason I'm calling is I'm not sure if you saw it. You might have saw it on Facebook. I'm working on some financial licensing and I got to get some training in, right? I just wanted to set up a time to hop on a Zoom call and show you guys what I'm doing. That way, if you or somebody you guys know in the future could use it, I'd love for you to, feel comfortable referring us. So, I mean, as far as us getting together on Zoom, right? Super easy. When's better for you guys? Weekdays or weekends? Now, at that point right there, you can tweak it for whatever you're trying to do. Today's Thursday. If I was talking to Haley, I would say, hey, as far as getting together with you and Philip, when's better? Tomorrow or Saturday? I'm always going to do like the next day and the day after because if you set an appointment for 3 weeks from now, they ain't coming. You got like a 1% chance of that person showing up, maybe. So you need to set it for the next day or the day after, right? Tomorrow or the day after. Now, the most common objection in this situation is I got to talk to my spouse. Let me check my calendar and I'll get back to you. And so when you get that first objection, if you get one, right? Your job is to affirm the objection, right? So pause, affirm it, answer, close. Affirm, answer, close. Anytime you get an objection, right? Isolate it and then affirm, answer, close. So Haley says she needs to talk to her husband. Hey, listen, Haley, I totally get that. I'm affirming her, right? I totally get that. I mean, Melissa and I make decisions all the time too. I usually got to check with her, but let's be honest, you probably know Philip's schedule better than he does. Am I right? Or at least just as good. So, keyword, just generally. So, just generally, when's better for you and Philip? Like on a normal week, weekdays or weekends? She's going to answer me, right? She's going to say, well, it depends on his schedule, but for the next 2 weeks, it's but. She's going to answer, right? Because it's not open-ended. And then you just go from whatever they tell you to the next yes, yes. So weekdays or weekends, perfect. Saturday and weekends, Saturday or Sunday. Saturday, perfect. You want to do like afternoon or evening, morning? Usually just go two, right? And use what you have available and when's good for you. and then kind of box them in. You want to do like morning or afternoon? Morning? Perfect. I got 10 or 11. Let's just get you penciled in. Which one do you want? They're going to pick one, right? Hey, listen, perfect. I got you down for 10 o'clock on Saturday. Super important that you and Philip are there, right? If they're married or they have a spouse, they both need to be present because generally we're not making decisions without the other one, generally, right? So listen, I need to make sure you guys are both there. My regional vice president's actually going to run the appointment for me, right? They don't know. Just say whoever's going to run the appointment for you, right? And now if you're setting your own appointment because you're licensed, well, then obviously please don't say that unless I'm actually running the appointment for you, right? But yeah, I'll see you guys on Saturday. You'll get a Zoom link in your email. Please just do me a favor, make sure your Zoom works. That way we're on time. And if you're anything like me, put it in your calendar because if it's not in my calendar, it doesn't exist. Am I right? Awesome. So listen, as long as something crazy doesn't happen, I'll see you guys Saturday at 10 o'clock. Get off the phone. Hang up. Goodbye. Right. Did I say stop sending text messages? No, because if you're texting this, the odds of you getting ghosted are like 95%. You're going to get left on red. It's going to get really awkward. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, man, I was texting my brother and he just stopped responding. This needs to be a conversation on the phone. Has to be. You can text somebody to make sure that they're actually like awake, right? Like, hey man, you got a few minutes? I need to talk real quick. If they're texting you back, is their phone in their hand? Yeah, 100%. You know it is, right? It needs to be a conversation, and you should be on and off the phone and have that appointment set in about 2 minutes. Okay. So here's the last thing to be sure of. Like when you're setting the appointments, you need to have your trainer's calendar up or your calendar up. All of the trainers' calendars look the same, right? Anytime we're setting an appointment with a client, it goes under free quote. Click view booking page. If it's in blue, book it. You don't have to ask for permission. You don't have to ask for anything. Just book it. The only thing that I will say is when you're booking appointments, guys, please try to book them like at the top of the hour. So like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. It keeps the flow of appointments smoother, right? That's the only thing I'll say, especially for client appointments, because we block off an hour. If you book it and somebody says, well, this thing says an hour, you said 20 minutes. Well, guess what? If we get through the presentation and they're like not interested, totally not engaged, just blowing you off, we're going to be done in about 20 to maybe 30 minutes at the most. But we set the appointment for an hour on the positive assumption that we're going to be able to help them with something after the presentation. If we're moving into something like a quote and we're actually going to close the business, we need the rest of the time. Okay, that's why we blocked that appointment for an hour. All right, questions on that? Anything anybody's faced recently this week that they need me to help like overcome? Anything, right? And don't be shy. It's just me and 29 of my closest friends. What, like, unmute yourself. What do you think? Anybody? Nobody? Nobody's had any issues setting appointments all week. I find that very hard to believe. Like, Haley, a
No shows.
lot of no-shows. You you can't control other people, but one thing that I will say when it comes to no-shows, guys, is your trainer
Your Honor, all my life,
and you,
because of the color.
who's who's talking?
Philip.
Oh, okay. If your trainer is the one that's trying to confirm the appointment, but it's your person, you guys should be the ones that are reaching out to your people and confirming the appointment, right? Think about it like this. Like if I'm sitting down with Marcel and her son, and her son is not responding to anything that I say on a text message or anything, because I'm not just gonna like cold call this guy, right? But I'm gonna text him with the Zoom link and everything, and then wait for him to confirm. it's not my job to confirm that appointment though. It's Marcel's son. It's her appointment. It's her job to confirm the appointment, right? So like insert whoever your person is for your appointment. It's your job, guys. Put your trainer and the client in a group text and introduce your trainer, right? Speak well of the person that's getting ready to run your appointment. Hey, Bernardo, this is Angela, right? She's my regional leader. She's awesome. She's going to be running our appointment today. I just wanted you guys to get linked up, and that way you could have a quick access to her before we meet today at 7 o'clock. Are we still good for 7? You don't need a script, guys. It's just be a person. Just be a person, right? Kaylee, all you hear is no. So Kaylee, here's something that I ran into with Dwayne early on, right? Dwayne texted me and then we got on a phone call and he goes, man, I'm like 0 for 20. And I said, what? 0 for 20? He goes, yeah, nobody will sit down. Yeah. And he goes, I said, well, okay, well, what are you saying? He's like, man, I just said, like, you want to sit down and look at some life insurance. And I was like, whoa, like back up, back up. Nobody wants to hear that. The answer is no. Nobody wants to do that, right? So that is always the answer. But if you're reaching out to someone and following the script and asking for help, getting some training, he followed that script the next day and went 3 for 3. So if you've done it the wrong way in the beginning, perfect, great. You had the guts to go try. That's what I want, right? But then go back to those same exact people, even all the ones that told you no. But you go back and follow the script and ask for help getting some training. And when can we sit down? Like, when's better for you, tomorrow or the next day? And see what happens. Especially if you reached out to those people a couple of weeks ago. Guys, most people have the memories of a hummingbird. They don't remember what happened yesterday, let alone 2-3 weeks ago. Reach back out. Reach back out. People have like the like attention span of a finger swipe. What is that? 2 seconds? That's about it for most people, right? And so their memories are not great. So I promise you, reach back out to those people. Say nothing other than, hey, I'm working on my licensing. I got to get some training in before I'm licensed. When can we sit down? Like today or tomorrow? Today or tomorrow, right? That's it. Ricky, who are you? I have never seen your name in the chat before. Ricky? Ricky, bro, who are you?
No, I'm using my dad's laptop. No, it's actually Victoria.
Oh, okay. I'm like, man, we got like a Chinese hacker in here right now because there is no Ricky on the I would recognize that name. Okay, good to know. Well, thank you. Welcome. I was like, Ricky, what? Who's Ricky? All right, squirrel. Back to reality. All right. So guys, but like for real, like that's appointment setting. And it's super important that you guys listen to that audio by Ian because back in the day, dude, Ian was a savage, right? Ian would say, look, I need to be able to walk into your house at 2 a.m, hit you with a bucket of cold water with a gun to your head and wake you up and you got to set an appointment. Because if you like, that's how well you should know that script. That's how well you should know it. And if you don't know it that well yet, great, go practice, right? Like start saying it out loud. Just listening is good, but you actually have to use your words, right? Just like we talked to our kids, you got to use your words. So do you. Because this business, guys, is all about people. And the more that you talk to people, the more comfortable you're going to become, right? The more you do it, just like anything, the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll become. I promise you, right? I promise. Even if you have to do it in the mirror at first, that's okay. Talk to your cat, talk to your dog, set an appointment, right? Get used to that natural pause of WFA, of waiting for answer. Hey, so like Ricky, as far as us getting together, right? Like when's better, today or tomorrow? Natural pause, right? Here's the real fun of that. If you're waiting for answer, the first one to talk loses. You need to make it like uncomfortably awkward. If you ask a question, you better wait for answer. Because if you talk first, you lose. Have a drink. Hey, so Ricky, as far as us getting together, like when's better? Like tomorrow or Saturday? And just wait. And just wait. I think Melissa wants to give like the new team mascot demonstration because we have a tiny cat now.
Hi, Mel.
Whee!
Oh my
Let
goodness.
her bring them both.
Where's the other one?
I don't know. Emmy's probably holding it. She won't let it go.
Tell
yeah,
Emmy to come show us.
This one arrived yesterday. Yeah,
You're gonna end up keeping both of them.
I know.
They are, for sure.
Yeah.
You are.
Like, let's be real. Like, they're not going anywhere.
They're not going to a friend's house.
No, they're like bonded. They sleep on each other. They're
When you sent me that picture yesterday, I was like, oh no, I got a new cat. Well,
two.
there's only one at that point.
Well, there was only one at that point, but there's two. There's the other.
Oh,
They're fluffy. They're like Maine Coon and something. I don't know. This one just sits here. But
That one's my favorite.
bye. All right, goodbye.
Here, Emmy.
So yeah, so now there's 5 cats and 4 dogs and 3 kids. So 5, 4, 3. What do we have 2 of? Nothing, right? 2 fish.
Oh, that's
Now I gotta
amateur
go buy
hours.
a lot of allergy medicine.
Yeah, if you're gonna stay here, you better bring your Claritin and whatever else. So
It's just becoming a bigger zoo every time, and it's amazing.
yep. And there's like 97 squirrels in the backyard and a turtle and deer. So there's probably gonna be a goat and a donkey soon. So,
Amy said there's 2 parents.
A donkey. I'm all for a donkey.
yeah. Donkeys are crazy. All right, back. Focus. Back. We're coming back. All right, guys. So that's appointment setting. Appointment setting runs everything, right? Appointment setting runs into activity because if you can't set an appointment, it's very hard to get activity. Recruiting and why we recruit, right? The best way to understand why we recruit is because if you ever want to build a business, you can't build a business if you're the only one in the business. I can't, like, there's no other way to simplify it other than that. Because if you're the only agent in the brokerage, right, you can make good money off of your own pen and writing and producing yourself. But if you're the only one there and you get sick, what happens to the money? If you can't produce because you are sick or in the hospital and you were the only one working, it's gone. Conversely, though, right? The other side of that is if I build a brokerage and I have 50 agents and I'm doing a little bit and they're all doing a little bit and I get sick, but there's 50 agents still doing a little bit, what happens to the income and the revenue for the brokerage? Virtually unchanged, right? That's the difference. It's no different than if you started a lawn service company, right? If you have a lawnmower and you can cut lawns, you can cut 6 a day. But if you hire 10 people and you go buy 10 lawnmowers and they can all go cut 6 a day, well, now you've cut 66 lawns in a day. And if you didn't cut any lawns, you still cut 60 lawns. And if you used to make $50 every time you cut a lawn, you were making $300 a day. But now all of your people are out cutting lawns and you give them 40 of the 50 every time they cut a lawn. Think about this, right? You still made a boatload of money off of the other work that you provided to people and you didn't do it. So now you make more doing less. Now you own a business. There's no difference, right? That is exactly why you recruit, because in this business, in order to build an income that can provide you something, is recruit, train, and retain high quality people. That's it. Think about how many times or how many other jobs you've ever worked at in your life where you had to train somebody? Has anybody ever had a job where they had to train somebody to do the job where they worked? Right? Anybody? Most people, right? So when you were in that job, did you ever get paid more for training that person really, really well? Or did you ever really kind of just feel like you were about to train your replacement and you're about to lose your job because they make less money than you and they're about to do it the same? In most jobs, guys, you're training your future replacement and you're about to put yourself out of a job. In this business, the better I train you, the more money you're going to make. And over the lifetime of us being in business together, the more money I'm going to make. So this is truly a situation where the more I pour into you, the better you're going to become, and the more money we're all going to make. So when we think about it in that regard, do you want to just be in business by yourself forever? Or do you want to go recruit an army of people that you want to have around you that are kind of like a little mini family and help everybody get ridiculously wealthy? I'm on the latter, right? I want everybody like boatloads of money. Everybody. Now, the definition of a boatload changes from person to person, right? If your last job you made like 300 bucks a week, a boatload of money to use probably 3 grand a month. But there's levels to the game. That's okay, right? Because if it's 3 grand a month now, pretty soon it'll be 3 grand a day. And I know that's hard to comprehend, right? But it's out there. We just made our newest $1 million earners in the last day or two. We're at number 163. That's insane. There's been a new $1 million earner every 2 weeks in the last year. Every 2 weeks. Crazy. I know. It's insane. I can't think of any other company out there that does it. I've never seen it, right? It's incomprehensible to think that there's another company out there with as many people making as much money as Primerica. A lot of other companies have a very, very small group of people that make a ridiculous amount of money. Like last year, the highest paid CEO made 150 million a year. I mean, good on him, but I don't think anybody's worth that much money. Not for 1 year. Just me. Just me. Would I take it? Yes. Do I think anybody's worth getting paid that in a salary? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. All right. Couple of things, and then I'm going to come back to recruiting. We're going to end with like some recruiting and some like Facebook social media stuff. But I want to talk about the insurance coverage and insurable interest because this one's been coming up a little bit, and I just want to make sure everyone is clear on that. So insurable interest, all right? Insurable interest, guys, is do you have like a direct relation to the person that we're trying to insure? All right. And this is the orientation packet, and it's in here. Everybody that's on this list, like use yourself, right? Obviously, you can insure yourself. You can also insure your spouse, partner, right? Or kids' parents, right? Like if say you're a single parent and your children's parent, other parent, right? You can insure them. In all of these situations, you can be the owner of the policy, the beneficiary on the policy, right? And the payer. They are just the insured. Meaning I can put a policy on my wife. I can put a policy on my parents. If I had, like Evan will be 18 soon, I can put a policy on him at 18, right? He doesn't have to pay for it. I can pay for all of those and be the beneficiary and the owner of those. Down the road, we can transfer ownership of those if need be, especially with the adult kids, right? But that's what's called insurable interest. We can insure those people. Now, like say Matt is my brother. I cannot put a policy on Matt as my brother. I can't pay for it. I can't be the owner. It doesn't work, right? I can't do it on my uncle. I can't do it on an aunt, right? Those people have a direct lineage with themselves, right? So siblings have no insurable interest, aunts and uncles, cousins, none of that. So like if you wanted to insure your little cousin Jimmy, Well, guess what? Call your other cousin that's his dad, or your uncle that's his dad or aunt. They need to do it. You can't do it, no matter how bad you want to. Okay. Questions on this? Anything that needs to be clarified on the insurable interest train? Is there an age bracket? No, Josh, there is no age bracket for insurable interest. If a client is 18 to 70, they can be a new client, right? So like when my son Evan turns 18, I can take him from a child rider to an actual like adult policy, and I don't have to wait for him to turn 25. They can just stay on the child rider until they're 25. Okay. There is no age bracket in that regard. Any other questions, guys, on the insurable interest stuff? No? Okay. Whoa. On car insurance, yeah, you can on the car insurance, Crystal, you can put kids on as authorized users, right? They can be on your insurance. You can do that. I don't think they can be their own policy owner, but they would just generally be on your policy, right? Like my kids are on our policies. As soon as they're licensed drivers, they legally have to be insured, right? So they generally just go on your coverage. But let's talk about that really quick because we're about to blow up in California because Crystal is an old friend of mine and she's in California. So let's talk about the auto and home side really fast. And I know it wasn't on the list, but auto and home, right? The western side of the country, although we could argue, some of the politics may not be where we want them, but when it comes to referring home and auto, it's exactly where we want it because we don't need any sort of license, right? So Crystal, tomorrow or this weekend or Monday or whatever, I want you guys to call and requote your home and auto. Use your rep ID as your discount code. I think Angela just threw it out there in Telegram, right? So put your rep ID in there and call because if what our guys can tell you in terms of like your car insurance, right? If we can save you some money, you're going to get paid $100 for referring yourself. Use your own rep ID as the discount code, and you will get paid because you and your vehicle are in California. It's a gray state. The same thing applies to any gray state, guys. If the client that you're helping and the vehicle or the home that they're insuring is in a gray state, you will get paid, right? So Louisiana, Alabama, North Carolina, Maryland, Jersey, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, Maine on the East Coast. Matt, Indiana, get after it, brother. Get after it. Indiana, go get it, dog. It's time to lock down Indiana. Any gray state, guys, you can refer a client and get paid. You do not need a license. If you're like 1 minute in the business and have a rep ID, you can refer a client and get paid $100. Not bad, right? All of the rest of these were like Vivint, the Legal Shield, and identity theft, you can refer to. You don't need a license. Legal Shield, if you're in South Carolina, you do. You have to get life license first, and then you have to apply for the legal license. All right, whoa, back to the poll. Okay, recruiting. So sometimes, guys, I need you to guide me in terms of like what you need to know, because I can talk about all sorts of stuff.
Before you hit recruiting, can you go over the legal shield referral real quick for Jennifer?
Yep, I was just getting ready to do that because I was just looking at the chat. All right, so let's look at let's look at the app really fast. Okay, so Primerica Online, and whether you're on your phone or on your desktop, guys, if you just go to the app, you can do a Legal Shield or home and auto referral directly from the app. All right, so click the 3 lines. If you're licensed, it will look like this. If you're a new agent and you're not licensed yet, you will, I think, have to go down to tools and then hit turbo apps. So like just stay with me somewhere, right? But turbo apps. And then once you're in turbo apps, auto and home, go click that. That's how you can set up your Answer Financial portal. You can refer clients and set them up an appointment that way for home, auto, or small business, or just give them the phone number and your rep ID. 2 ways to do it. But legal and identity theft protection, you can do right here, right? So if we're going to do a legal shield referral, just click that, click I agree. It's going to, like right now, like if I were doing this, I can only do it for myself because it's my rep ID. But when you click it, your rep ID will automatically be there, right? So Jen, like for you, if you were clicking this right now, your rep ID would show up, you're in Florida. So hit continue. It walks you through all of the like benefits of Legal Shield, and then it shows you the 3 different sort of categories, right? This one is the most like frequently chosen, and here's all of the benefits. Let's look at this really fast. Guys, for 40 bucks a month, you can create your will, have assistance with probate, vehicle property damage, uncontested divorces, I think uncontested name changes, marital assets with a prenup. That's new, right? We never had prenup option before. Reinstate a driver's license, review rental documents. They'll review legal documents for you, mortgage documents, uncontested minor adoption. Guys, $40 a month. That's insane. Additional services, right? You get discounts on like if there's something that you need that isn't included, you get a discount from the lawyer's office. They'll review up to 25 pages. That's cool. Traffic ticket coverage. Trust me, you get a ticket, just upload it into your Legal Shield app. The odds of you paying it, very, very small, right? They'll notarize documents for you up to 5 a year. This is crazy. If you get audited, you get represented by a lawyer for 40 bucks a month. 40 bucks a month, guys. It's essentially like having a lawyer on retainer for 40 bucks a month. And it covers you, your spouse, and minor children. This one does. It's the family option. They have to be like direct family, right? Unlimited number of personal legal issues. That's crazy. 40 bucks a month. To put it in perspective, just for the will, right? Just for a will, an average cost of a will is about $300 to $500. $300 to $500 for a will. And that's like one shot, you're done. If you need to update it, you're going to pay that lawyer again to update it. For 40 bucks a month, you and your spouse can each do a will, and you can update it every year. And all these other things. Power of attorney, medical directives, like living power of attorney, like all of it. It's all there, right? It's all there. The platinum one gives you more access, right? And some other stuff. Generally, this is the one you want. And if you refer yourself, you get paid the commission for referring yourself. The commission usually covers like the first 2 months of the PLPP. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. What else? Any other questions on that? Guys, like I would love for you guys to all go play around with the app, right? Get to your Turbo apps. If you're not licensed yet, you won't see this, you won't see this, you won't see this. But IBA, you don't have to be licensed to recruit somebody. You can go do an IBA, right? Here's one thing that we generally rarely talk about because like some people are going to be very hesitant to sit down and fill out the application with you, right? Well, you can send a link. If somebody's like, well, can you just send me the application? This is like a last ditch effort, right? Like last resort, because the odds of somebody actually getting through this on their own, but some people are just that way, right? So if I wanted to send you a link, I can email it or I can copy it and I can text it to you, right? So I'm just going to put it in the chat for everyone to see really fast. Like if you went and click that, it will take you to an IBA application right now. And if you fill it out, you will come in as my recruit. Now, they fill it out and then you'll get a text message notification saying, hey, Mr. Agent, done, right? And then you have to go in and submit the IBA. Now, the bad thing about this is if you do that, right, you're not on with them to immediately register them for class. You're not going to get them logged in with their app right away, those sorts of things. I don't like it, but it does exist. If you are sort of in that situation with somebody where you're getting that kind of pushback. All right. Whew. All right. Questions. And guys, I know we're going over a lot, but there was a lot of stuff that got listed on the questionnaire for tonight for the poll. What else? Because I know some of you guys are brand new. Listen, there's no stupid questions, right? There's there's varying levels of like, I've been in the business almost 3 years. Angela's been almost 2. Haley's been in for like 5 months, right? Crystal's been here for 5 minutes. And so we're at varying levels of the business. So people need different things, but it's okay because everybody still needs to hear it. Yeah, IBA is independent business application. It's what we fill out when we onboard somebody, right? It's sort of like their job application, yeah, business application. So IBA. Probably your first 4 or 5 like meetings, you're going to hear a bunch of acronyms, but over time they just start to flow. It'll also start to make sense. Okay. One last thing I want to hit you guys with is like back to recruiting and back to the social media play. Okay. So we call what we do on Facebook and social media running the play. And if you've ever played, organized sports or you've had any sort of coach, right? If your coach calls a play, but not everyone's following the play, is it going to work? Like if he calls a play, but everyone that's on the field runs like 13 different plays, it's not going to work, right? So let's use an example of Kaylee, because you were in my search list recently. So we're going to go in and inspect, right? So leaders, I want you to always remember that people don't do what you expect. They do what you inspect, right? And you're not like harping on someone. You're just helping them do it right. Because if they change the recipe, they're not going to get the same outcome. All right. So Kaylee, perfect. It's pinned. It's public. And both of your trainers are tagged, right? So Dwayne's tagged, I'm tagged. You've got the correct verbiage, the new updated verbiage. That's perfect. Nice picture of you and your spouse. I love that. Check it out. 47 comments. But how do you think, guys, we could make this better? Now, we can't just like artificially generate comments. What could we do? We could get more shares, right? So you can get more shares. And Kaylee, the easiest way to ask someone to share, and I'm going to do 2 things on the shares. We do this first. Here's a problem, right? 2 people have shared the post for you, but I can't see it because it's not public. So if it's not public, that means like 99% of the world can't see it either. So when someone makes a share for you, right, you need to ask them to, hey, can you do me a favor? Well, one, thank them. Hey, Matt, thanks so much for sharing my post. Can you do me a favor real quick? Can you just make it shareable? Did you notice I said shareable and not public? Here's why. When you ask someone to make it public, they get all sort of like, they get like the heebie-jeebies sometimes, right? Because they get real weird about it. But look, they're not making their entire profile public. They're just making that one thing shareable. And they're probably going to go, sure, and not even think twice about it. Because it makes sense, right? You ask them to share, so it just makes sense that it's shareable. Hey, Matt, can you do me a favor, man? Thanks so much for sharing that post. Can you go make it shareable for me? Just that way, in case anybody else sees it, they can share it too. What do you think he's going to say? He just said yes to me to share the post. If I ask him to just make one little tweak, he's going to do it. He's going to do it, right? Here's, for example, I will show you on my own where I did this, right? So let's go to saved post, because here's what you guys should be doing too, right? You should be saving posts, right? So Zen, not that one, Liz Jones, boom. So Melissa made a post, and my friend Liz, who used to be in the business, went and shared it, right? So here's your pro tip. Whenever someone shares a post for you, you need to go in and comment on it, and then go up to the 3 lines up here and make sure that you have like notifications turned on, right? See how it says turn off notifications? I had to go to this and said, get notifications for this post. Because if you have 100 shares, but you're not getting any sort of like traffic from it, it's not doing you any good. Okay, so you got to, this is more follow-up, right? Hey, thanks for sharing. Now, this was just over the text because I wasn't talking to her. She just did this on her own. I didn't even ask her, right? Hey, can you make it public so it's shareable? And she's like, yeah, of course, right? Blah, 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 blah. It was just a joke, right? And then immediately out of that came a comment. I spoke to her. She said she was going to share it. I don't know if she did, right? I need to go follow up. I was talking to her this morning before I got on the boat. So again, follow up. But back to the whole like shares thing, Kaylee, right? If there's no public shares, I can't even go look. I have no idea who shared it for you. Now you can, because you're probably friends with the person that shared it for you. So you can go click it. And when you do go click it, you need to make sure you go comment on that thing. That way you start getting notifications for it, right? And when you go comment on it, you should be putting in there hey guys, I work for a financial advisory franchise. You know, if you're interested, comment, I'll reach out, or whatever that thing says, right? Whatever that script says. And that way you're getting notifications for it. Because if you're not getting notifications and going and checking on that, why'd you even bother asking them to share? Right? All right, so Mackenzie commented on something I tagged in. Here's another thing, right? Whenever somebody comments, heart it, right? So heart, because hearts get more like algorithm juice than thumbs. What should we be doing whenever we respond to somebody that comments though? What should go down here? Questions, right? Because look what happens. Sending you a message. If you just say sending you a message, does anyone have a cue, right? Are they prompted to reply to the comment? Nope, 0, right? So 4 shares, but look, only 2 are public. So let's go see, right? Oh, well, that is kind of sad because Mackenzie, I don't want you sharing your own post, guys. It starts to look spammy. If you want to go in and bump your post, go in and put like @highlight or @followers, or just go in and comment something. It'll bump the feed. Don't share your own post. All right. Blake shared it. That's good. But look what we're missing. Right? I can't comment on this thing for some reason. So just things to like go back and look through tonight and kind of look back through your post, make sure things are followed up on, make sure you're asking questions. Remember, I don't care what somebody says when you ask a question, and you're not waiting for them to respond before you make the group chat with your trainer. The whole point for asking the question is to get someone to respond and comment back and bump the post. Okay? So guys, tonight was a lot. Like we literally covered like everything. Everything. Like take a minute, go back over your notes. If you have questions or something is just like burning at you, put it in Telegram and ask. Because if you have that question, chances are somebody else that's relatively new or about your same time in the business has the same question. Okay. Telegram is for everybody. It's for everybody. It's the brokerage chat. The only thing I'll ask you is kind of be mindful of time zones, right? If it's getting past like 10 o'clock Eastern, just save it. Wait till tomorrow. All right. And so but it's for everybody. You don't have to sit there going, can I ask this? Yes, you can ask that. You can ask it. If it's something that you think it's just like pertaining to you, reach out to your trainer, guys. Send the text message. I promise you, there's not a single person in this business that we work with that has ever texted me that I've not responded to. Guys, I responded to people from other teams. If I have good information, I'm gonna share it, right? And like I'm everybody's regional vice president, right? I'm not too far away from you, like in the food chain, for you to ask a question. Now, I would prefer that you ask like your first upline, right? So your first level of leader, because if you perpetually skip them, you're skipping their training. You don't give them the chance to answer. You don't give them the chance to lead. And if they never learn to lead at that level, they can't lead at the next level. Right. So it's a leadership development course along the way too. All right. Kaylee, you're welcome. Yes. Guys, every time you come to training, you're going to get something. Every time you come, and if this was your first one and your head is swimming right now, it's okay. Go sip your favorite adult beverage and chill. It's going to be fine, right? Like it will get easier. It gets more simple. The concepts get more simple, right? And like I told Crystal earlier, if you're brand new-ish and you're just like, what the heck should I be doing? And you're not done with your licensing course and curriculum yet, or you haven't scheduled your exam, that's what you should be doing. And if you ever are like, what should I be doing? Text me. Text your trainer. You guys all have my phone number. If you don't, you should. 810-444-3401. 810-444-3401. Every single one of you should have that phone number because you should all get in a text message with me immediately upon coming into the business. Okay. So that's like, and if your trainer is not responding to you, text me, right? That's it. Like they should be, right? Because your trainers are amazing because I trained most of them, right? So trust me, they will respond to you as well. All right. Questions, comments, concerns? I got 4 minutes. I don't need to take them. Like if we're good, no, Matt, not 867-5309. God bless. It's kids, right? Some people's kids, Angela. Some people's kids. All right, guys.
People are gonna people regardless of who they are.
Right? People are gonna people. They're always gonna do it. All right, that's it. I love you guys. Listen, if you learned something tonight, go throw it in Telegram. Just put one thing that you learned, right? One thing that you learned or one thing that you're gonna do tonight or tomorrow to like increase some activity, right? Generate some new activity. Because I promise you, activity is everything. If you're dead in the water, go ask someone to share a post for you. Hey, Angela, I've been having no luck on hiring. We're looking for like 5-10 new people. Would you do me a favor? Would you just, if I gave you a graphic, would you just share something on your Facebook for me? See if we can get anything. It would really help me out. That's it, guys. That's it. You're not at like, yeah, just and making a post, right? Like that's what I'm talking about, Serena. Like if I gave you something to put on your Facebook, would you just put it on Facebook and see what happens? People generally say yes, right? And then send them the verbiage. Send them the verbiage just like you would do if they were in the business, and ask them to use a picture so that if anybody sees it, they know it's real, right? That you weren't hacked. That's a good way to look at it too. All right, guys. I'm